Hi, welcome to City Vision University's faculty training, where in this lesson we're going to talk about City Vision's mission, vision, and values. And really the goal is, why are we doing what we're doing? So many of you have heard of Simon Sinek's Start With Why, and he has the golden circle. So the why of what we do is we're a part of a larger body of Christ. And within that body of Christ, there is the Christian justice and charity tradition. So this is, where, Jesus, whenever he launched his ministry, he was quoting Isaiah 61. And also, he said in Matthew 25:40, whatever you've done for the least of these, you did for me. So that's what we're really going after, is we're trying to equip a larger movement of Christians who are serving the least of these. So that's really our why. Then the how is a new wineskin for Christian higher education for those serving the poor and the addicted. Many of you know I grew up poor, then went to MIT and co-founded a research group with one of the fathers of the internet. I did a .com startup for a while, and my doctoral work was on disruptive innovation in Christian higher education and the poor. And Clayton Christensen, who's the second most quoted business guru in history, he said that the next industry to be disrupted with new technologies and new methods was going to be higher education. And we believe that God's doing a new thing, and there needs to be a new wineskin for Christian higher education. And to put that bluntly, a lot of schools that have been doing this in the past, they're just out of reach. They're not affordable. And what really happens whenever industry gets disrupted is you start to see 10 times as many people be served by that. So that's what we're trying to do, is to create a new system for those. And then the what is, right now we have addiction counseling programs. We have two main core competencies: addiction counseling and nonprofit management. We also have our free City Vision Institute, where we've had over 25,000 students. And we're serving really two big picture audiences: leaders of ministry serving the poor and graduates of ministry serving the poor. About 20% of our students are were recently homeless, addicted, or recently out of prison. So that's part of what makes us unique as an organization. So our three values are Jesus, justice, and technology. And our mission is to use online education to transform lives through Jesus, justice, and technology. So what does that really mean? So, our vision is to transform lives by providing radically affordable online education to those serving the poor and the addicted. So what does that really mean? The Jesus component is really, we're a part of Christian higher education, but we're trying to create a new wineskin with that. So, and historically, we grew out of the Association of Gospel Rescue Missions, which is an evangelical association, and still the majority of our partners are very focused on Bible believing, whether or not they use the name evangelical or not. But that's the core of who we are. Group of Christians that take the Bible seriously. Then justice is, part of how that comes out for us is by trying to be radically affordable, by trying to be practical. One of the biggest rubs we run into with faculty is they come from academic context, and we have a different way of doing things, and they try to, at times we'll try to do things the way other schools did, assuming that that's the right way. Well, our students are in a different context, and we have a different value set. And then, the other aspect of that is just trying to address the needs of the poor, the addicted, and underserved. And then the technology value, it comes out by trying to be very cost effective. That's why we use technology. We use a methodology that's called Lean Startup and social entrepreneurial approach. And there's, I could give a 2-hour talk just on fleshing out what those values look like here at City Vision, but that's the high level. Now, who we serve are students. So primarily Bible-centered Christians serving the poor and the addicted in the U.S. In 2021, we had about 275 students, growing at about 20% annually. So our students are primarily in the bottom half socioeconomically. Of those who applied for aid, 74% received Pell, which generally goes to the bottom half socioeconomically. The average age of our student is 40, 73% are working adults, 92% are in the US, 71% are transfer students. So about 2/3 white, 18% black, 8% Latino, Latina, and 5% other. And by level and organization, about 60% are lower level staff to middle management, 20% are executive leadership, and 20% are graduates from Christian recovery or ex-offender re-entry programs. So as you're serving students, it's just important to know you're going to have this mix of students. You're going to have some people who could potentially teach the course that you're teaching, or might be able to. And then there's others that, they might have been homeless, a few months ago in the course. So who we serve, the other aspect, our largest degree program is addiction counseling. Then we have Christian ministry and leadership, nonprofit management and business. Our MBA is nonprofit focused, and we have a master's in organizational leadership. Now, most of these degrees are variations of a nonprofit concentration, because that's really our core competency. And then by source, 70% of our students come from partners in ministries. Half of those come from rescue missions. We've had students from over 110 rescue missions. About 25% come from other ministries serving the poor, the Urban Ministry Institute of World Impact, Teen Challenge, Salvation Army. We have 19% are international ministries and 4% churches. So that's pretty different from a lot of Christian schools, especially ministry programs that will have a lot more on the churches. We're very focused on parachurches, and we have about 30% find us through our online marketing. So another way of presenting this would be just showing that we're building a school for Christians serving the poor and the addicted. And this is a chart that would show across race and class, what's the group that's out there. So most Christian schools are a part of a network called the CCCU, Christian Colleges Consortium, I think is what it is. But that group largely serves an upper middle class audience. We rarely have students where we're competing with CCCU schools, because we don't go for traditional students. And if we have upper middle class students, usually they're, working age adults. Then you have community colleges. So in many ways, we serve a function similar to a Christian community college for our lower end students, but we also, serve a function at the graduate level. We're serving the high end students, but the core of our values kind of falls in this, working class, get it done, practical before academic. And that makes a big difference in the way we approach things. Now, we have two groups that we serve and two kind of success stories. One is just the organization. So 70% of our students come from organizations. So St. Matthew's House is a rescue mission that has about 160 staff to date. About 40 of those staff have been students with City Vision, and that's just happened in the past 3 or 4 years. Van Ellison, who now has recently left as executive director of St. Matthew's House, he said it's the partnership with us was one of the biggest factors that helped them grow from 1.8 million to 35 million in a 8-year period. And so what we did is we enabled them to outsource a lot of their training to us. Springs Rescue Mission is another partnership where we co-developed a program with cohorts of staff of about 5 to 10 staff. One is in leadership development, so taking junior staff to become managers, and the other one is in addiction counseling, so taking people, getting them equipped to be case managers and certified addiction counselors. And then the third story is Souls Harbor Rescue Mission, where Michelle Porter was actually City Vision's first student. She founded 2 rescue missions, and she's had over 20 students and interns. So that's the organizational impact. That's how we're helping this larger movement. But then we also have this group that we call the Wounded Healers. And these are people who went through recovery programs. So Brittany Hargrove has been one of our star students. She made some mistakes whenever she initially went to college, and ended up getting addicted and was facing court time. And the judge allowed her to enter St. Matthew's House to go through their recovery program. She got sober, found Jesus, completely turned her life around, and is now married with kids, is a graduate of City Vision, and is now in our graduate program. And she's supervising a lot of staff at at St. Matthew's House. And then another story is John Dean. So he was an addict for 22 years, a gang member for 27 years. He started using drugs at age 13, and until God found him. He had a radical conversion, started following Jesus at the Highway 80 rescue mission, continued his recovery through the House of Discipleship in Longview, and then became a student with City Vision University in our counseling program, got his bachelor's degree, and is now a case manager, and he works with addicts and ex-offenders. So this is why we do what we do. It's these changed lives. So we're a part of a larger movement, but we're also a part of trying to change lives. So thank you for your service with us. Thank you for helping us change lives.